What is up, all you beautiful people? Welcome back to more daily CS news. I do want to quickly apologize, guys. We've been traveling a lot lately. Just came back from Evo and a Halo major, but we're back for daily CS news, and it's not been a great time for North America. Make sure to leave a comment down below. How are you guys feeling today? What are you sipping on? The most important thing that I need to talk about and get off my chest right away as Blast Fall now continues and has begun, well, it's Complexity. And they made the news this past week because unfortunately so they played against Heroic, who is playing with their manager / coach as a stand-in. That being saw, and they did not only manage to beat Complexity, but they took them down in 2-0 fashion, which continues kind of a little string here recently of not so great Complexity results. And of course, whenever you lose to a coach stand-in, which we have seen surprising amounts of times in CS, but you never want to be the team that it happens to.
That's more like it. That's an absolute stinker of an 8.
That is actually kind of devastating. Nerd's going to be really careful here. He'll make it back around the corner before they can hunt him down, but it looked like they were about to get him. Some more grenade damage. This time it's Saw, though, burning alive. He's Shush on the bomb side itself, and he'll get a great double spray down. Keeps the madness up, a third kill. And now he's up hunting with the USB Elige inside of the smoke, trying to stay alive, trying to keep this on. He needs 3 kills, and he needs to be flawless in this clutch.
Can't throw this one, boys. Another huge advantage. 3 kills from Shush to open things up here, but it's Elige, one of the best players North America has ever produced. They have to keep the dream alive here for Complexity. He has got time on his side, a minute on the clock to work with the smoke on his utility belt as well. Shush is very low, deals with him, but unfortunately, there's just too much to deal with, and it's a 2-0 victory for the plucky underdogs, with the manager, the coach playing, Saw stepping up with an admirable performance, and that's going to be an absolute gut punch for the likes of Complexity. They go down 0-2, they fall back to the bitter end, Anders, but it wasn't quite enough.
And this one sucks, man, because people have started to really point on Elige, obviously one of the best ever in NA, and certainly someone who I think some viewers might be saying, okay, how can we save Elige from this instance? And is this the Complexity roster that must be going forward? It's shaky, and especially because when casters and the player cameras point out the obvious of Elige's frustration as of late, which was noted here.
Again, it's the Mac 10, no helmet. Deleted immediately.
Looking likely to be map points here, ladies and gents. Third map of Anubis might be required.
So far away. Nice shot there for Grim. If you could do that one more time, then maybe there's something to fight for, but good timing for Nexius to step it up. But Elige, you could see him like shaking his head down.
Yeah,
there.
and now we're getting into that territory I complimented before. They're kind of keeping it together in these kind of awkward rounds, but
they're not keeping it together, Henry.
Not maybe, not right now.
Oh, look at...
We can see it, Anders. You don't have to say it. We can all see it.
I was going to say, look at the sunshine on, like,
exactly,
on Vertigo,
there you go.
The view is beautiful up here.
Look, we all want to see Complexity do well, but it looks likely to be a third map.
And so, yeah, man, as a Complexity fan, this certainly sucks to see. It has to be very frustrating. And does this spell well for this being the roster for the future? It makes you think maybe not so much, but we'll see how they can bounce back to begin after this short off season, and we'll keep you guys posted on Complexity issues. Speaking of which, Elige also taking to Twitter to point out the issues with CS, which are not just the jump bug, but also the boosting issues, and now these fake footsteps going around. So Elige even making note of that. I think we'll probably save that for a future video, as a lot of pro players continue to complain about the state of Counter-Strike and these bugs / issues in the game. But I hope you're here for this next one, guys, because it is possibly the best story. I mean, it's not the best story. It's actually a terrible story for the organization, and you do feel bad. One of the dumbest CS roster bans that I have ever seen. All of this starting with a simple ESL statement about a team known as Perseverance, and everyone's like, okay, it's a bit vague. We don't know exactly what's going on here, as they announce a ruling saying last week it came to our attention that Perseverance Gaming submitted false evidence to mislead the tournament and admins in an effort to have an ESL Challenger League match rescheduled. Following a thorough investigation into the violation, we have decided to disqualify a team from ESL Challenger Season 48. Additionally, we are suspending the team and its players from all ESL Faceit Group Pro competitions for 2 months. And then it was Dust 2 that did some digging. Their full article will be linked down below, because it seems Perseverance Gaming was not just submitting false information, but the general gist before we dive into it is these players, they all got together, and apparently one player maybe could not compete during a certain series of matches, and so they tried to falsify weather documents about some weather that one of their players was having, and then having power outages, and thus they needed a rescheduling of a match. So they then went ahead and submitted false records of these weather reports to try and reschedule a match, but they were found out. As according to Dust 2, sources with intimate knowledge of the team tell Dust 2 that Perseverance aimed to falsify potential weather-related power issues at Shutout's house, one of the players, in order to be granted an emergency reschedule of the aforementioned Mythic match, so a series against Team Mythic. A source told Dust 2 that this attempt of subterfuge, big word, was undertaken in order to ensure the team would be able to play the best of 1x2 versus Mythic with News in place of Zaylor, whom the team officially kicked on July 24th. But it's not done there. The source alleges that due to a variety of factors, News would be unable to play with the team by July 18th, leading the lineup to fabricate the chance of a potential outage, a power outage, in order to convince the admin to reschedule the match. The source shared a series of screenshots from the ECL Discord with Dust 2, who was confirmed legitimate, and that show the shutout attempting to convince the admins of incoming inclement weather via an Apple Weather Doppler radar. And you go through these messages and you see that apparently not only were they skeptical of the evidence at hand, but especially the text message apparently from the company, where they misspelled the word experience, among other things, where they can literally just check the weather of the player's location, which was later found to be nothing too intense and weather that is probably not inclined to cause a power outage. And so the whole team lied about a weather report to reschedule a match. They got found out, and now they've all been banned from some pro comps with ESL Faceit for a couple of months. That is North America, baby. Like, you can't make up these stories. You literally cannot make up these stories anymore, guys. And that is why North American Counter-Strike is so goddamn good. And one last story for all of you guys. It was recently Cadian back on the broadcast after being removed from Liquid's lineup. We'll still see where his future is. Certainly got a bright future, but it's always great to see the guy on the desk, because I'm a big Cadian fan. I know you guys probably already know that, but he gave some relationship advice out there in response to talking about Team Falcons, most recently adding Dupree, but the roster is still pretty new and still has yet to meet the expectations of a lot of people out there. So he gave his advice of like, hey, if you're in a relationship with a guy or gal for only 6 months, you don't go and usually get married, typically, right? So he admits that they have not met their expectations and maybe there are issues, but the online world has still not given the roster enough time to, fully meet what they're capable of.
You were in a project that started 6 months ago, and they got rid of you super fast when it wasn't, when they felt it wasn't working.
Yeah, I mean, and there will be situations where it's maybe necessary, but also, again, I think 6 months of as a perspective is not long. Like,
so what's the time frame that you wait?
I mean, anyone who's been in a relationship with a girl or a guy for 6 months knows that you probably shouldn't marry within the first 6 months. There's still things you need to learn about each other, and it's the same for CS, and maybe they can build a deeper connection with the kind of tough losses and the things that they're working on. I think, Sonic has proven his worth multiple times as a coach. They have Lars Rubbel as well as a mental coach. I mean, if these two guys can't put them at the right mental place, I'm not sure how many other people in the CS community can. But I understand the community pressure. I understand that people want to see them perform, but they also need to give them a little bit of time. If they've had enough time or not, I'm not the judge for that.
We're going to figure out exactly what that time frame looks like after this.
So if Cadian says it, I'm going to agree with it, guys, and we await to see if Team Falcons can really turn it around. The only thing I can really relate here is Team Falcons. If you guys don't know Falcons Esports, they have seemingly unlimited money. They have top rosters in several esports out there. CS was one of those expected powerful lineups to come into the game and be a very, very top contending team. And they definitely probably themselves expect a lot more when they're paying what they are paying. Of course, we also heard the rumors of them trying to get Nico, maybe m0NESY as well, offering a lot of money. We're talking like 70+ thousand euros a month, allegedly, was being rumored for someone like Nico. Who knows the price for m0NESY? So, and they're still with G2. maybe for rightful reasons. We'll find out maybe later down the line what those are. So Falcons, what do you guys think about them? Cadian says maybe they just need more time. As per usual, hope you guys all enjoy. I will be back to more news, okay? I've just been traveling a lot, but now I'm back. Thanks to all of you guys who have been liking, commenting, and sending me stories. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you back here soon. Water, coffee, ta-ta.